Greetings, welcome. Let's look at factorizing polynomials. Alright, okay, we have 5 examples. Let's get to it. Example 1, let's factorize ax plus ay. Okay, the first thing that we need to do when we are factorizing is we look at the terms. So when we look at the term, we look at what is common between the two terms. In this case, we see that a is common. This a. So we write that one. We write that term which is common and we put it outside the brackets. Okay? So question is, what are we going to put inside the brackets? Well, to find out what we are putting inside the brackets, we divide each term by the common factor, and then that will tell us what we put in the bracket. So what are we going to put here? Well, we look at the first term and we divide it by a. Let's do that. Ax divided by a. What does that give us? Well, a and a cancels out, gives us x. So right here we'll have x. Then we look at the second term, positive ay. Okay, positive ay. Ay, we divide it by our common term, our common factor. A and a cancels out, so we have y, so positive y. So there you have it. If we factor that one out, we'll have a outside the bracket and the binomial x plus 1 inside. Let's do this one. Okay, question is, what do we have common in this factor? I mean in this binomial. Well, the first term has 2x and the second term has 4y. X and y are not common. They are actually two different terms. What about 2 and 4? 2 and 4 are like terms. 2 and 4. So we need to look for the highest common factor between 2 and 4, a number that is divisible by 2 and 4. In other words, a factor of 2 and 4. In this case, we see 2 is a factor of 2 and 4. 2 can go into 2 and is also divisible by 4. So we write 2 outside the bracket. And then we find out what are we going to put in there. To do that, we divide each term by the 2 that we put outside the bracket to tell us what we're putting inside the bracket. So we get to that. First term 2x divided by 2. 2 and 2 cancels out, left with x. So here will be x. Okay, bring the sign as it is. Then we'll have 4y divided by 2. 2 there is 1, 2 there is 2, therefore 2y is the answer there. 2y. So 2y is our answer. Cool. Let's keep going. What about this one? Do we have any common terms in here? Well, in this case, x is common, x is common. What about here? Well, we have k and y. K and y, those ones are common. Okay, so let's factor the common one. Okay, common one. X open bracket plus ky is common, open bracket. What we're going to put there we'll find out just now in a minute. So what are we going to put inside the bracket for this one? Well, we divide ax by x. Ax divided by x, what do we get? a. So we have a plus bx divided by x. X cancel out, then we have only b, so a plus b. Okay, let's do the one for ky. We divide the first term, which is kay, divided by ky. Ky cancels out, we're left with a plus, do the same, kby divided by ky. Y and y cancels out, k and k cancels out, only left with b. So a plus b. Okay. So but that one is not done. So what we see is that we have x a plus b plus ky a plus b. A plus b plus ky a plus b. Okay, if you observe, you find out that a plus b and a plus b is actually effect of these two terms. So we have term 1 and we have term 2. So a plus b and a plus b, the common factor. So we can take out common factor, which is a plus b here. A plus b, then we'll have our brackets, and what we put inside the brackets, we need to find that out. xa plus b divided by a plus b. This one cancels out, then we have x. So here we have x plus, then we have a ky multiplied by a plus b over a plus b. Cancel, then we have ky. So this is actually a product of two binomials. This is cool. Alright, so what's next? 4. Number 4, that's a difference of two squares. You need to factorize the difference of two squares. Okay. Number 4. A squared x squared minus b squared y squared. Okay. So let's do this one. To do this one, just by looking at it, I can already see it's a difference of two squares. But if you don't know what a difference of two squares is, just know that you have two binomial factors. One is a plus, one has a plus as a sign, the other one has a minus. In this case, what you do is you just square root this one, and then you square root the other one as well. B squared y squared, and the answers you get, you put one there, the other one there, one there, the other one there. Okay, so a squared x squared, that's the same thing as a squared x squared raised to the power 1 over 2. The square root becomes 1 over 2. So if you have algebras and they are raised to powers, everything multiplied by a power, that simply means you can multiply the powers of that one by the outside power. So this becomes 8 to the power 2 multiplied by 1 over 2, x to the power 2 multiplied by 1 over 2, which is equals to 8 to the power 2 over 2, and x to the power 2 over 2, which is equals to 8 to the power 1, x to the power 1. Eventually we have ax. Okay, so put ax here and ax there. The next one, which follows, square root of b squared. So the same story, b squared y squared. That is the same as raised to the power 1 over 2, which is the same thing as b raised to the power 2 multiplied by the outside power, y squared multiplied by 1 over 2. It's the same thing as b to the power 2 over 2 multiplied by 1 to the power 2 over 2, which is equals to b to the power 1 multiplied by 1 to the power 1, which is equals to by. So the next term will be by and by. Okay, so that's equals to ax plus by, ax minus by. So if you multiply these factors, you should be able to get this. Should be able to take you back to a squared x squared minus b squared y squared. So let's do that quickly. So to do that, multiply this term by everything in there. Okay, and then we'll multiply the second term by everything in there as well. So let's go on and do it. Ax multiplied by ax, that becomes ax multiplied by ax. Okay, multiplied by minus byx. So plus ax multiplied by minus by. Why did I say byx? There's no byx here. Okay. And then plus by multiplied by ax plus by multiplied by minus by. So this becomes ax multiplied by ax. A and a are the same, so we add the powers, that becomes a squared. X and x are the same, that becomes x squared. Ax multiplied by minus by, that becomes minus by. Ax, and then by ax multiplied by, okay, by multiplied by ax, that's the same thing as plus by ax. By multiplied by minus by, that becomes minus b squared y squared. Minus by ax plus by ax, this one and this one comes 0. It becomes ax squared plus 0 minus b squared y squared, which is the same thing as a squared x squared minus b squared y squared. So there you have it, exactly the same as what we have there. So that's a difference of 2 squares. Alright, cool. So let's do the last one. do the last one. The last one is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. The fifth one. Factorize a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Looking at this is not a difference of 2 squares, but it's similar to that. Instead of being a difference of 2 squares, this one has positive signs instead of plus and minus, because of these two that we have there. So in this case, we look for two numbers that are factors of both a and b, or two letters, factors of a and b. So that's just a, and a times a gives you a squared. We have b and b times b gives you b squared. So this will be a plus b and a. So that will be a plus b and a plus b. So I look for numbers that if I multiply them, also I'll put a and a there. So okay. Then I look for b times b gives you b squared. Okay, so let's see if this will give us this one. If I multiply these numbers, what do they give me? B times b gives me b squared. Let's see, let's test it out. A times a times a plus, well, because this one multiplied by everything in there, this one multiplied by that and that. So a times a plus a times b, then plus b times a plus b squared. A times a, that's a squared. AB plus AB, that's 2AB plus B squared, which is exactly what we have there. Okay. So this is exactly similar to the difference of 2 squares, but in this case, you only, well, the signs remain as positive. While a difference of 2 squares, one bracket has a minus sign. Okay, more on this perhaps later. Alright, thank you for watching this video. Cool.